Good evening. I will call the, oh gosh, what date is it? November 1st, 2022 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. It is now 7 p.m. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from October 20th of 2022.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this motion? No problems with the minutes, as always. Dottie does a fantastic job. All in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from October 20th of 2022, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Can you say aye?
I
Okay.
just looking at the 20th or the 18th.
Oh, the 18th. Okay,
I didn't pick up on that earlier.
I didn't either. Now I'm looking at my calendar. Thank you, Suzanne. It was October 18th. It was not October 20th. So let me amend my motion to be approval of the minutes from October 18th, 2022. I was just reading from the agenda. October
Second.
18th, 2022. Ken has the second. Any discussion on these minutes? Thank you, Suzanne, for bringing that up. All in favor of approval of the minutes from October 18th, 2022, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving forward to correspondence. I don't have any, but we did receive correspondence today. From Sally White. Hello, Amy, Suzanne, and Ken. Pardon the multiple emails, not sure which one is best to use. Please review the article linked below. I suggest the reality of the counterproductiveness of recycling plastic be a discussion and action item for the Board of Selectmen. Even Greenpeace admits it is more toxic and expensive to attempt recycling, something which only produces a single-digit percentage of reuse. Nor should taxpayers be expected to check a box on their transfer station form committing to recycling. The whole process adds to pollution and energy waste. This has been known for decades. It's a dangerous and expensive scam. Thompson should lead the way in reality, truth, and effectiveness. Best regards, Sally White. So we received this today at 9:49 a.m. I did forward it over to the Transfer Station Recycling Committee. And I did refer to the article. I also referred to the article from Greenpeace. And we will be having a discussion with, unless the board chooses otherwise, we'll have a discussion in the January meeting with the Transfer Station Advisory Committee meeting. Does that work?
That works for me.
So that we have time to research everything.
Right.
That's being,
Yeah, because they come up with the numbers and we can see the man hours that are involved with it as well.
right.
We have Winston, if he's still doing
Mhm.
our,
Oh, that's true. I didn't. think of
Consultation.
that.
and get him involved with it as well.
Absolutely.
Let's see what the climate is. I know a few years ago,
Are we still under correspondence or do you want to switch over to selectmen comments?
We're just in correspondence.
Okay, I just,
You want to keep it clean and,
yeah.
yeah, we can.
Discuss it.
Because it should, yeah.
so that was the correspondence that we received as of 9:49 a.m. this morning. Any other correspondence that either selectman might have received? Okay. All right, moving on to agenda item 5, selectmen comments. The floor is open to selectmen comments.
So now we could talk about it.
Yeah, just get Winston on board, see where the trend is going. I know he deals with many towns, looking at the cost, what we've actually made. I mean, there's a bunch of numbers. Usually the transfer station committee does look at that and give us those numbers,
Mhm.
when they do it. So it'll come in very important. Take a look at it.
Just one thing that I noted, I did pull up the article from Greenpeace and what they were discussing was the fact that plastics, inevitably, everything that humans produce and consume, it creates waste. And what the overall theme of that article was that we should be rebottling or repackaging instead of just discarding of waste. So it's like a reusing of containers versus just disposing of containers. That was the first glance that I got from the actual article from Greenpeace. We are under obligation to recycle. Unless we all became homesteaders and completely lived off the land, I don't think we can get away from using plastics or bottles or various items like that. But a reduction in waste is always the ultimate goal. That's my opinion. But that's not my selectmen comments for tonight, but on this topic, that's from first glance, that's what I got from the article. So I'll just open it up for any other selectmen comments that we might have tonight.
They paved. They actually paved
It's very nice.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I was amazed that they paved on Sunday, which was probably a good thing to do with the amount of traffic being at less than during the week. So I did not, I went through once, Sunday, I caught them over here by Main Street. And when what they were doing looked very well. I haven't had a chance to look at it since then, but it'll make this winter a lot easier for everybody in general. And we know that there's more work to be done going into the spring with finishing up different things, but it does look good. The only other thing that I have is, and everybody is aware, and Suzanne and Amy, you may say the same thing. Next Tuesday is the election. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is you exercise your right to vote. You vote your conscience, whatever your beliefs are, but go out and vote no matter what. That's what it's all about. And that way, if you do have a complaint and you voted, you can express your opinion. But if you don't exercise it, it does make it difficult.
Absolutely. Suzanne?
I was gonna make the same comment about asking everyone to go out and vote. But also Halloween seemed to go off without a hitch here in Thompson.
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
I think
It was
so.
a beautiful night. I go trick or treating with my granddaughters up in the lots, up in the lots. And it was really nice to see everybody out enjoying themselves. There was tons of people, hundreds. We gave out like 8 bags of candy. So it's always nice. It's nice to see that kind of community, people getting together. You pass by somebody and you know who they are. What's nice about these little towns.
And I miss those days.
I'm lucky.
Yeah. Because, sorry, I'm gonna embarrass you. My son Caleb St. Ange has just come home after 4 years and 4 months in the United States Air Force. Happy to have him. He surprised me last Friday. I didn't know he was coming home. By all impressions, he was in Dallas, Texas, with a friend who had already gone home. So I couldn't be more happy to have both my boys with me just a little while longer. But the days of trick-or-treating are gone, and that's always.
Don't expect grandchildren soon.
No, that's okay. I don't want that. That's okay. On another note, speaking of veterans, which Caleb, you are now a veteran. Veterans Day celebrations will kick off on November 11th at the Oscar Swanson Park, 11 a.m. November 11th. That's a Friday. So I hope everybody can turn out for that. It's always a nice way to honor those who have served our country. It's a really small percentage of the population, but we are grateful for all those people who step up and volunteer to serve. Yeah, with that, I don't have any other comments. And we will move on to citizen comments. Agenda item 6. Citizen comments. The floor is open to citizen comments at this time, and we will begin with the virtual audience. Anybody in the virtual Zoom audience that would like to speak, please just unmute yourself, state your name and address for the record, and you are welcome to speak at this time. Mr.
Amy-
Wright,
Amy, John Rice, 39 East Thompson Road. I'd like to be interested in what the alternative is, that correspondence that you just read. All I do when I heard you read that is I seen video of plastics that were thrown in the ocean and the amount of fish that swallow that and die and get tangled up in them bales of plastic. So I'd be interested in hearing what the alternative would be for us not to recycle. Thank you.
that is a good point. Thank you, Mr. Rice. Any other citizen comments at this time? Hearing none, we will move to the live audience. Any citizen comments at this time? We have a mic that's ambient. It picks up the whole entire room. Just try to project and use your outside voice, so to speak. And state your name and address, please. All right, seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 7, Aquatic Lake Ordinance Update. So we have had a committee, ad hoc committee of people from Aquatic Lake just meeting to discuss some of the concerns. As we know, we had a tragedy at Aquatic Lake. We are trying to work with DEEP to come up with an ordinance that will at least set some parameters as far as behavior on the lake, specifically targeted for the weekends. So what we came up with was one of the committee members developed a diagram, a map per se, as far as the movement of boats through Aquatic Lake. DEEP would like to not see a map. They just want to have something that's verbiage that they can communicate without having to hand out a map. As we know, as most people know, Aquatic Lake has a public boat ramp. So that means that it's open to all the public, out-of-state residents, in-state residents. So they need something that can be clearly communicated. So in our second meeting of the committee, we decided that a counterclockwise pattern, which has always sort of been followed on the lake, and Suzanne, you would know because you live on the lake and boat on the lake. Counterclockwise was the pattern that we decided the term we would use. We discussed the implementation of a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit. Again, particularly targeted on the weekends. That was approved by DEEP. Because we've been bouncing our ideas off of DEEP. And they've been responding to us and letting us know what things they'll approve. Because ultimately we can create an ordinance, but it has to be approved by the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. And then it has to be approved, of course, by our taxpayers. So the weekends only could apply to the ordinance. One of the questions was the lower basin of the lake would be exempt from the ordinance because it does not have access from the boat ramp. And then, let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. So it's really limited as far as what we can impose. We asked about things like decibel levels for boom boxes on the actual state park side of things. We don't have any control over that. But they did tell us that they are trying to tighten up regulations and there'll be a public hearing coming up. So we are attempting to get the date of that public hearing so that people from Thompson can attend the public hearing and express their concerns for noise levels, because obviously the noise levels that come from the state park kind of disrupt the peaceful tranquility of everybody that lives on the lake. So that was that. And the third thing that someone brought up was Stump Pond. There's a lot of fishermen that will use the the electric, not the gas powered motors in Stump Pond, which agitates. And I'm not totally familiar with it. I probably should go out on a boat with somebody. There's a lot of weeds that are invasive, and the gas motors chop it up, and then it gets pushed into the regular lake, which induces more invasive weeds in the main portion of aquatic. So they were asking that motors be used in Stump Pond versus gas powered motors.
It's very hard to use a gas powdered with a propeller because it gets jammed up with the weeds.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
troll motors.
Troll
would be-
motors are usually what I see, as well as canoes or a paddle boat, yeah,
So
but-
hopefully that's not an issue, but it's something somebody brought up.
yeah.
If I'm correct, Stump Pond is northeast of
It's
Baker
behind-
Road.
Behind the speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of right here, right, where the
Yeah.
bridge is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baker Road up to the speed.
Yeah.
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 So that was one of the other things. Additionally, what was brought up was, can we, because I know there's a lot of fishing tournaments on aquatic, on Saturdays, probably Sundays too. Can we allow the speed limit exception during fishing tournaments? And they said we could. So that would be up until 9 AM. I'm just throwing out so everybody understands what we talked about.
But I don't even know that they exceed the speed limit when they're trying to get to their fishing spot.
But we don't want to hamper them from getting to the fishing spot.
Right, and I don't know that they, and who is, and how is this going to be enforced, this speed limit?
That's the critical thing.
That's the $99 question. It's-
So as we were talking, as you guys know, we've been discussing the potential of possibly bringing back a resident trooper or bringing back a school resource officer. And it popped into my mind that, well, what a great thing to have a resident trooper that could actually patrol. We could assign his or her hours to patrol the aquatic lake on the weekends, just a few times during a specific shift. And NCON, which is the enforcement division of DEEP, has told me that they will allow, as long as there's communication between both entities, between the state police and NCON, so that they're not duplicating services. If we had a resident trooper, that trooper during the summer months could patrol,
The beach, but
The
not the
beach.
lake, right?
not the lake, not
Right,
the
but,
lake,
but there's stuff
in-
going on at the beach that a trooper could have,
I think just
could
the-
intervene and could stop it.
I feel like the presence would be a big win for aquatic lake, not only state park, but for the residents. So
I
that's
agree.
what's
Can
been
we
going
put that
on.
an agenda to discuss what that would look like to have a resident trooper, just so that we have some sort of a concept?
Well, November
Because-
9th, we have, I formed an ad hoc committee, which includes a variety of residents and the school safety committee, Greg Gillott. Mike Darcy has agreed to participate in the ad hoc committee. And we have Sergeant Cody and the lieutenant, which I never remember his name, from Troop D, is going to be here to discuss the parameters of having a state trooper versus having a school resource officer. So that's gonna be November 9th at 6 PM.
But can we have that on the agenda to talk about what?
Once
that
we
would
get
look
all
like
the information.
financially?
Yeah,
That's, I mean,
Yeah.
you know
but
what I
that's gonna
mean?
be what we get from November 9th. We're gonna get all of those details and we're gonna, as a committee, we're gonna write it down. It's about $125,000 to have a school resource officer. It's 150 to 200,000 to have a resident trooper year round. Those were the initial prices that I received.
For
from
40
Sergeant
hours a
Cody.
week.
Yes, correct. So,
Okay, so let's schedule a meeting after their
Yeah,
meeting and have it on our
absolutely.
agenda, so we can talk about it in a public forum openly.
The-
Not to make
and
decisions
the public's invited to
to
this,
the other, yeah.
the other
yeah.
meeting as well. So we're gonna make sure that it's on and people who want to attend and at least hear what's being said can certainly attend.
What is DEP willing to do for enforcement?
On the lake,
What they've been doing.
Basically, nothing.
nothing.
I mean, it's got to be team effort.
They just agreed. But I think if we have the ordinance in place, they can't enforce anything that's not in an ordinance. So.
So
mean,
we're
it-
doing our
That, we're
job.
doing our.
We're
part
doing our.
Yeah, I mean, the ordinances are all well and good. We
If
still
they're
have,
enforced.
if we still
Right.
have to have a way of enforcing it, and that's
Agreed.
gonna be the ultimate question.
Totally, I totally agree with you, Ken. So,
But I think having enforcement on the land, would have a huge impact.
will be a start and then holding
On
them
the beach and
accountable
the
to do
land.
their part
Yeah,
on the water. So,
But I mean, we can always work it out with Troop D and say, hey, when the guys are out patrolling, they need to stop by the, the beach.
well,
and
they haven't
We
always
tried
that.
been,
Walkthrough.
we've tried.
But
that.
I'm just saying, right now, that's what we have available to us. Same thing when we have issues with speeding on a variety of different roads.
But But the problem is they
they-
don't
they
make
don't
it a
have-
priority.
they don't have the manpower either right
Yeah,
now,
but
because we ran into that this summer.
But if you had your own, if the
No, I
town
get
had its
that
own
part.
resident trooper, then
Right,
we as a board assign the tasks, we assign the hours, we assign.
and I think that's what I'm asking is for how that works,
Mhm.
as well as how that would work in our budget and what part of that does the state help with and that,
Right.
and that's what's gonna be discussed at the safety meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm. November
I
9th,
will be there.
yes. So I just wanted to give you.
Where's
a-
that?
Where is it?
Where
What
we
time?
start. It's here in the Merrill Sinay room,
Okay,
and actually it's at 7 o'clock. I
7
said 6, but it's 7. So everybody that's out there, November 9th, 7 PM. It's an ad hoc committee, so it's not gonna be a formal agenda. It's not gonna be citizen comments, but it's a chance for the public. They can come and listen and hear what's being said. And it's just us it's a chance to discuss
Good.
things, that's all. But in a controlled manner. We'll get all the information we need, and then we'll bring it to the public meeting at our next Board of Selectmen meeting. And we'll have all the information that we need,
good.
so. All right. All right, agenda item 8. Proclamation in
Fun
Eagle
stuff.
Scout. Giovanni, do you want to talk about what your big project was? Do you
Please.
want, I didn't have you prepared, but
Tell everyone what he's receiving, maybe,
Okay,
so
well,
that,
he is receiving his Eagle Scout Award, which is a huge achievement. And
Where do I go?
do you
Just-
see right there?
right there.
Right there, just describe your
What was your big project?
project.
So my project was at the West Thompson Lake. That way somewhere. What I did was I built 2 benches to benefit the Thompson Lake, the West Thompson Lake, as well as did conservation work. I cleared a clearing, made a clearing for the lake that would help with recreation and cleaned up the trails, as well as I made the seeding and brought it to the dam because they had a previously washed out trail from a year ago, just about, when we had that big rainstorm over the summer. And I brought that in to try to bring back some of the usage of the trails and help entice them onto the newer trail that was more safe.
Very good.
So you have a lot of merit badges.
Yeah.
And you've done a lot of different things. You've been in the Boy Scouts, I assume, since you were a Cub Scout or a,
Yeah, I
Right
joined
on.
at 8 years
what
old.
is the youngest one?
Well,
What is the one? Yeah, is that Cub Scouts is the
Yes.
youngest? Yeah. And it's, so you don't just get your Eagle Scout, you have to work all those years to get all those badges and then do a major project, right?
Yeah, once you're in, you're in Cub Scouts, you go up through Cub Scouts. Once you move on over to Boy Scouts around 10 or 11, you can then start your journey to work your way towards Eagle. This patch right here is to signify that I was in Cub Scouts, and then you have different ranks that you move up on through in order to progress and do stuff that work your way towards Eagle.
And that's the highest level that you can attain.
Yes, Eagle Scout, I have the life right now because I haven't been awarded it yet. I will be awarded it November 13th, but Eagle Scout is the highest rank you can receive.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And what are your thoughts for your future? Do you have any idea at this point?
Well, I go to Killingly Public Schools
Okay.
in the VOAC program.
Yeah.
And I'm focusing on animal health and animal behavior. And right now I'm in environmental science, but I'm hoping that as I continue through my life and get more education, that I can work towards being a veterinary technician and work with animal healthcare.
Wonderful.
Wow, wonderful. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Great job.
And so with that, whereas we acknowledge that Giovanni C. Kuchar has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. And whereas we recognize that Giovanni C. Kuchar, through perseverance, ability, and good character, has accomplished his goals. And whereas we recognize that the Boy Scouts of America provide guidance and direction in preparing today's youth as tomorrow's leaders. And whereas we extend our sincere wishes that all his future endeavors will be exciting and rewarding as his success in achieving the Eagle Scout Award. Now, therefore, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Thompson, Connecticut, on behalf of all its residents, extends to Giovanni C. Kuchar congratulations on this extraordinary achievement. In testimony whereof, we hereto set our hand and cause the seal of the Town of Thompson to be affixed this first day of November, 2022. Congratulations. Can we do a picture?
We should.
Parents, mom and dad?
And I think, is your leader here?
Yes, that's
You're-
right.
that's right.
Come on, Betsy.
I'm only assistant.
You're-
That's okay.
Missy, how long have you been-
long enough, girl.
how long have you been in Boy Scout?
Since 05.
Oh, my son, yeah.
Me, mom and dad.
long.
Can you get us all?
Three, two, one.
Great.
Thank you.
you. Congratulations again. I appreciate you. Great job.
Congratulations.
All right. All right, moving on to agenda item 9, appointment Ryan Knoyer, Millsites Redevelopment Advisory Committee alternate. So this is for our MISRAC committee that oversees a lot of the work that's happening here in the North Grosvenor section of town.
So I'll make a motion that we appoint Ryan to the Mizrac committee.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on his application that we received?
Right, looks like he'll be an asset to the committee.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Great. Without any other discussion? All those in favor of approving Ryan Knoyer as Millsites Redevelopment Advisory Committee alternate, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion passes. Any other business to bring before the board this evening? I don't have any either. Oh, with that, citizen comments, agenda item 11, citizen comments. The floor is open and we will begin with the live audience. If there's any citizen comments, just state your name and address for the record and you are free to speak.
Yeah, Ray Williams, Water Plain Road. I don't want to throw something in the water for that aquatic thing with the boats. And the electric motors up on Stump Pond, but with the, I fish up there all the time, and with an electric motor, as soon as you start going through them weeds, your battery's dead. You gotta flip it up and you gotta keep pulling it out. So, you know, gas motor, you know, even if you put, I know that the weeds are gonna go down because it's a river. But if, you know, maybe put a horsepower limit or something like that up there instead of going up there with
Okay.
40 or 50 horsepower motors, you know, 5, 10 of the horsepower. But if you don't have gas motor, you're not gonna make it from that bridge to Aquatic with a good even with a good bat.
That's good to know. I'd like to have that side of the story. Thank you
That's a
so
good point.
much. And I will bring that to the committee. Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Any other citizen comments in the live audience?
Caleb St. On 139 Riverside Drive. Just coming from a law enforcement background, going off of that resident officer, I think it's a great idea. Troop D, not only Connecticut State Police, but all state police from the state that I visited in my time in the Air Force, they're all stretched thin right now. Being a police officer is really hard and taxing. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are going that route for a career. So I think having a resident officer, not only for the school protection, but also for our state parks and recreational facilities is a great idea. We found, coming from a law enforcement background, just the presence of an officer there diminishes potential criminal activity exponentially. So I think just getting them out there, letting them be seen by the public is a great idea.
Thank you. I think it's a great idea too.
Me too.
Any other citizen comments here in the live audience before we move to virtual? All right, so we will move to the virtual audience, and Valerie Clark, you have your hand raised.
Valerie Clark, 105 Alm Road. Well, I think it's good that we are taking action to address the issues at Aquatic Lake. I want to caution you to be very careful extending an ordinance to Stump Pond. And here's why. Stump Pond is not entirely public property. Much of it is owned privately, and it was originally farmland, which is why it's Stump Pond. It was originally farmland. The private landowners that abut the waterway have pins in the waterway that mark their borders. You should not be making an ordinance that restricts the use of private property. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. That's the type of information that I really need, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. I wasn't in favor one way or the other. So this type of information is extremely helpful. What you provided and what Ray provided is huge for me. So thank you.
And
Any
the other note, just Dottie had a comment in the chat asking I
Yes.
think, about the Mizrac. So
Yes, and thank you for pointing that out. It's an indefinite term for the mill sites. For Ryan Canoia. All right. Any other citizen comments at this time from the virtual?
Sally White. Oh, let Dottie go first. She's got her hand up.
Nope, she was just giving the thumbs up that
Oh,
I've given her the information she needed. Thank you.
I thought she only had one thumb. All right.
Yeah.
John's point about the trash and the sea creatures and animals in general obviously is something I think that most of us hate to see and are concerned about. My promotion of looking at the benefits or lack of benefits of recycling trash, of course, has nothing to do with collection of the plastics. Obviously, as many plastics as possible should be taken to the transfer station and destroyed, whatever, taken away. But to recycle them, that's another matter entirely. A lot of places actually just include that as part of their regular trash, but it's the level of effort that goes into the recycling and the toxicities of handling it when it's broken down towards the humans and what's aerosoled, and also the added trucks and so forth. You use up a lot of effort and energy in doing the recycling for next to no benefit. I think it's around 5% of everything that's recycled is actually used again. And we may find that there's a significant cost savings for the town, and it actually will cut down on pollution by not recycling. But by all means, it all needs to be collected and taken away safely. And then regarding the suggested speed limit of 45 miles per hour, I think that's quite rapid. I would think that 25 miles an hour would be fast on a lake that size, especially with the level of activity and people swimming, people canoeing and kayaking. 45 miles per hour is way over the top in terms of speed. That's not even necessary. This is not open ocean. I would cut that way back. And it was interesting when you were talking about the park and the DEP, since that is their jurisdiction. And unless something comes out of Hartford to change their jurisdiction, then I think that needs to really be looked at. The state police don't go in there as a rule unless something extraordinary happens and they're called, because that isn't their jurisdiction. And I think they would be more apt to go in there if indeed there was a change in the jurisdictions. I think that the people on the North Patrol would do that, but they don't want to step on anybody's toes. And so that gets a little complicated. And then your ad hoc committee, I don't, perhaps I missed something. I don't recall you announcing that you were forming a committee. And I'm wondering how many people that are not currently employed by the town or on existing committees and commissions have been invited to be on the committee and who they are.
Okay. Sally, I'm happy to publish a list of the people. It included individuals such as Nadine Williams. As I said, Mike Darcy. There aren't generally people, Greg Gillott, who heads the safety committee. I can certainly get you a whole list.
Mhm.
It's an informal just group of people that want to discuss safety within the school and safety within the town. And I have announced it at the Board of Ed meeting, the Board of Finance meeting, and previously at a Board of Selectmen meeting. This is the 4th time that I've announced it publicly. So I've been very forthright with it.
Everyone on the committee is a Thompson resident?
Everybody is a Thompson resident.
Oh, okay.
Of various backgrounds. I'm also
Right.
trying to get a teacher that can sit on the committee. I'm trying to get all different walks of life and different opinions and perspectives without making it too big. Obviously, everybody can't be on a committee, but it is open to the public, and that's why I announced it again tonight. Because it's open for everybody to at least come and listen in and hear what's being said.
And you're not going to allow, I don't understand what the goodness is or the benefit in suppressing citizens' comments at that committee meeting on the 9th.
There's just no formal agenda. Sally, if you want to come to the meeting and you want to speak, I will absolutely allow you or anybody else who wants to speak.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's an informational session where we're all getting the information that we need so that we can move forward and start
Mhm.
potentially making decisions. Nothing, there's no votes that will be taken. It's just information.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I would love to go, but unfortunately that day is booked all day long, but thank you, Amy. I appreciate
I'm
it.
happy to, I'll be happy to post it as a Zoom meeting. That's the great thing about Zoom, and I'll make sure that I record it additionally so that we can publish the recording so everybody has a chance to listen in and hear what was said.
That would be great. Thank you. That's excellent.
You're welcome. Happy to do that. That's what I love about Zoom. And Valerie Clark, the floor is open.
Yep, just following on the meeting, and maybe it's because I was a little late to this meeting. What time and where? is
November, no, you're talking about the security meeting,
Yes,
school security, November 9th, and I'll make sure that I get it on the calendar too. November 9th, 7 p.m. here at the Merrill Sine Room.
Okay, and then is there a separate meeting that regards the Aquatic Lake Association ordinance?
We actually haven't, established another meeting for that. But I'll be sure to make sure that one's published. It's been relatively informal. We only met once a few months back with Deep. And then we've had two just kind of, just discussion groups where we talked about, what might happen within an ordinance, there was probably 10 people from Aquatic Lake, people that live on Aquatic Lake, that brought their concerns to the meeting. But as soon as I know there's another meeting, I'll make sure that that one is published as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Citizen comments open for both virtual and live audience members.
Amy, John Rice.
Hi, John.
I just want to extend my congratulations to that young man in attaining his Eagle Scout. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Any other citizen comments?
Sally again briefly,
Yes.
and that is on the security with Aquatic. As you know, the DEP has assigned limited people for Eastern Connecticut to include all of the state parks.
Mhm.
And my understanding is it's hard for them to run around to all of them.
Right.
But wouldn't it be a consideration, maybe you've already done this, Amy, but if you had knowledge or they shared the level of rowdiness or dangerous activities, injuries and deaths between all of the parks, and you show that there is a definite problem here, and part of it, as we know, is people coming in from out of state, and ask them that for next season to put an emphasis on Aquatic. I don't think I've heard of any deaths at any other state parks in Connecticut or Eastern Connecticut. And it would seem that they could make an exception to have more patrols up there, to have more of a presence. And that may solve quite easily some of the concerns and the manpower problems. And even if they alternated weekends, every other weekend, or made it different weekends so that people wouldn't get used to a routine, if some of the folks got used to them being there, then they might cut out some of the foolishness. That's it. That's just a suggestion.
No, I appreciate that, Sally, and I will get those statistics for you. However, I don't think that this was the only death in Connecticut state parks over the summer. But I will definitely get those statistics so that we can use that as a measure. Absolutely. Valerie Clark, did you have another? Or was your hand still raised?
No, I have one more.
Okay.
I also I want to echo the congratulations to the Eagle Scout. And it occurred to me as he was speaking about what his future interests were, I'd like to encourage him, if he hasn't already, studied Temple Grandin's work with animal behavior. It's very important, good work, and I'd encourage him to delve into it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, citizen comments. The floor is still open for citizen comments at this time, virtual and live. All right, hearing and seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 12, tax refunds. All right, first off, I will make one correction to last month's tax refunds. It was brought to my attention that ACAR Leasing LTD was misprinted. It was printed as $214.54. It should have actually been $215. I'm sorry, I take that back. It was $215.54, and it should have been $214.54. So it was a reduction of $1. So taking that $1 back. And then I will make a motion that we refund George B. and Pauline C. Brower $510.53. And then for Toyota Lease Trust, we have $143.91, $298.22, $170.46, $342.03, $171.01, $112.38, $463.67, $280.49, and $625.68. Additionally, Daimler Trust, we are asking to refund $307.15. And that total minus the $1 from last month's error is $3,724.53. I make that motion to refund those taxes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these tax refunds? Hearing none, all in favor of approving these tax refunds, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that is the end of the meeting. I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:46 PM.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Refunds, Amy?
Yeah.